The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
Hey, looks like a good Wednesday morning to you. Welcome to the show. Senior producer Ryan Nicholson is in charge of things this morning. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor, text 304-935-5008. We're in the Jared Construction Studios, right on time, right on budget. Visit jared-construction.com. Phone calls to the show with service of Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, Spring Street, Charleston. Texting service provided by West Virginia's finest men's store, Tony the Taylor, Virginia Street in Charleston. Check out bestmastertaylor.com. Wednesday edition of the show. Coming up, we're going to talk to Delegate Hollis Lewis, Democrat from the 57th, about the upcoming legislative session. Begins next week, next Wednesday to be exact, as is the tradition. Body will gavel in 11, 12 o'clock or so, and then they'll gavel out. And then that night, the governor will give his State of the State speech, and they get down to business next Thursday. We'll talk to Delegate Lewis about that. Plus, the big news in town, the last couple days, Charleston Mayor Amy Schuler-Goodwin announcing at the City Council during the State of the City address on Monday night that the City of Charleston is at least looking at some talks with a whole group that owns the Town Center Mall that would allow the city to take over the mall. Now, we have stories posted about it, of course, WVMetroNews.com and WCHSNetwork.com. I spent a lot of time on over the last 24 to 48 hours, especially 24 hours, talking about it with the mayor yesterday on this show, and then later on Metro News Midday. Then I made an appearance on Talkline with Wilson Meadows to talk about it yesterday. So we've heard from the mayor, and you've obviously heard from me on it, but I want to hear from you. We had some texts yesterday, got them in there as best I could, but toward the latter part of the show today, I'll turn it over to you with your thoughts on the town center. And, it looks like the city of Charleston, as I said, that's the plan, and we're still a long way away from that. But that the whole group, good possibility that they're going to turn the town center over to the city. So what does that mean? Well, the city's not in the retail business. So just keep that in mind. That's not what they do. So we'll talk about it. You can weigh in if you want to text me anytime during the show, courtesy of Tony the Taylor, 304-935-5008, or a little bit later on, you can call me, Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. We'll get into all that a little bit later on. But right now, it's Girl Scout cookie time. Joelle Gates, Girl Scouts, the Black Diamond Council is here. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
You remember what was going on? You and I were talking about this off the air. What was going on at this point last year?
All that horrible snow. All that horrible snow.
It hit on Sunday, and we talked about that. And I'm a weather geek, so just look over me here. This time a year ago on that Sunday, it started off real gray, whatever, and we had snow.
Oh, yeah.
Then we put ice on top of that. Then we had snow, basically shut down everything for a couple of days. And you go from that into this morning. I pull in out here. I get here about 7 or so at 11:11, and I get out of the car, and I've got a light jacket on. I'm thinking, I don't even need this jacket. What a difference a year makes.
Right.
I mean,
one thing remains the same. Girl Scout cookies are here
transition. Perfect transition. All right. So, and you and I were trading emails back and forth a couple of weeks ago about having you on the show.
Yeah.
And you said at the time, maybe we can bring a couple Girl Scouts with us. And then I thought, well, that'll be a great idea. And then I started thinking, well, they're back in school. Yeah. And that kind of goes against everything the Girl Scouts are, to bust them out of school to go talk on the radio, right? You got to teach them responsibility.
Well, I will say that we do really try to provide really amazing opportunities. So we do have girls with us at certain times. I'll come back later in the season and bring some girls.
All right. But right now, as you and I were talking, like everybody's sick at this point right now.
It's awful. I know. I apologize. I'm losing my voice.
So keep the kids away from here for right now. Okay, we got enough sickness going on in this building. All right, so it is Girl Scout cookie time. By the way, thank you for the gifts over here. I appreciate that. What do we have here? Hold on. Look what we got here.
Yeah. So the sale.
Explore More's. That's the new one, right?
Yeah.
Thin Mints, of course.
We kick off tomorrow. We've got our amazing lineup, but we're super excited to offer a brand new cookie, the Explore More, inspired by exploration and influenced by Rocky Road ice cream. It's a great opportunity for girls to sell something new and for our community to support the girls and offering that cookie.
All right, so it's this is the definition straight off the box. Poor Ryan, our producer's licking the glass in there right now. I got you, man. I got you. Rocky Road ice cream inspired cookies filled with flavors of chocolate, marshmallow, and toasted almond creme.
They're delicious.
Creme. Make it sound good there. All right. And of course, you brought Thin Mints as well. So those are what is the most popular overall? I mean, is there one or two that?
Locally, it's always a fight between Samoas and Thin Mints.
Okay.
Our customers really show up to show love for those two specifically, but honestly, we have folks that love every single cookie, and that's why I'm so excited to offer the new one.
Yeah, I am not as big on the Thin Mints, and I'll tell you why. I love mint, and I've never been one that really liked the mixing of the two, you know, and that's okay. But Samoas and Do-si-dos, I'm all in.
Next time when I bring the girls, we'll bring those cookies for you.
All right. So how do they decide, Joelle? I mean, in a lab, focus groups or whatever, and then they probably take, I think you mentioned this on the show before, they probably take recommendations from the actual Girl Scouts on what the flavor should be. But what goes into that?
So the national organization explained that this cookie came about through national polling. They found that Rocky Road ice cream is actually the most popular ice cream flavor across the country. And so in focus groups, like you mentioned, they created a couple different cookies, and that cookie performed the highest.
Okay.
Most folks don't know that we actually have two bakers that create cookies, so different parts of the country have different cookies. The core cookies, like our Thin Mints, our Tagalongs, Samoas, those remain the same. But we actually saw that in both of those bakers, the Explore More performed the best and really got the greatest reviews.
All right, well, keep talking because I'm going to open these up.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to try these.
Well, I'll just go ahead and say that the sale kicks off tomorrow. We're really excited for folks to participate and support our girls. You know, Girl Scout cookies, it's more than just, selling cookies. The proceeds, they help create lifelong opportunities for our girls and provide life-changing experiences.
All right, well, keep talking because I'm distributing cookies right now.
Heck yeah. Right. So the best way for folks to support the sale is to go to a local troop or find a local Girl Scout. If you don't know a Girl Scout in your region, you can contact the Girl Scouts of Black Diamond Council on Facebook, and we will connect you with a local troop. We also offer online sales, and so folks can have cookies shipped directly to their door.
Okay, so I brought in a couple of experts here. I got Ryan,
an esteemed panel of experts.
Ryan, our producer. Is this thing on autopilot? I guess right. You just turned it on, and you.
I hope it is. Yeah.
Ryan, who's supposed to be another side of glass, and Bobby Spry, Sales Weasel, is in here as well. And because all right, so have you tried them yet? What do you think? What do you think?
It's good. It's really good. I really like them.
Bobby,
I love it. I wish I had a glass of milk to dip it in.
That would be good. Yeah,
that would be perfect.
Perfect.
Can you go get us some milk, Joelle?
Absolutely. Let me be right back.
These are very good. They're very good. And it's a little bit more chocolatey. I mean, I know what Rocky Road is. It's a little bit more chocolatey than what I thought they would be, though.
Sure.
But they're very good.
It's like a chocolate lover's dream, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep talking because I'm going to mouthful of cookies right now.
What are your favorite, Dave?
Samoas.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Those are the classics.
I've loved coconut since before I should have loved coconut.
Hey.
You know, they say it's an old people's
old soul.
taste.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
I told Ryan asked me if you were to bring in Girl Scout cookies, and I said, well, what I'll do is I said, if I've got them, you can have them. All right, Ryan, there's 2 packages in here. So guess what? You get one and I get one. Bobby, you want to? Okay. I'll bring them up later because I want to get a photo with Joelle. So come back and get a picture a little bit later, Bobby, if you don't care. How is the sales of Girl Scout cookies changed over the years? Because I'm old enough to remember, and I'm a lot older than you, but I'm old enough to remember that when they would literally go door to door. And I don't think, do they do that still?
So we still do that. We've really kind of shifted our focus. And of course, at Girl Scouts of Black Diamond Council, we're so unique in that the geography of our service region is, so different than different parts of the country. We cover 61 counties across 4 states. Mm-hmm. We have areas of our council where that community door-to-door sale is really still important. But then we also offer online sales. Each girl that participates in the Girl Scout Cookie Program, they have an opportunity to put together an online platform, so they can produce a e-commerce opportunity for those looking to support. So there's really different means of participation. And then, of course, in the spring, we'll have our Girl Scout cookie booths, and everyone knows and loves. You can expect those in late February.
I think the whole idea behind selling of the Girl Scout cookies, Joelle, goes back, if you look in the history, and you and I have talked about it before, sure. It's not about the cookies necessarily. It's not even about raising money. It's about teaching entrepreneurship, so to speak.
Yeah, so the Girl Scout Cookie Program, it provides 5 life skills such as money management, people skills, business ethics. And like you said, we're really trying to give girls that curve that set them up for success later in life. You know, we've had alumni go on and do great things and win out jobs over other applicants of job positions because they have the skills that they gained through the Girl Scout cookie sale. So, you know, you may look at a Girl Scout and just see it as like a really cute, fun opportunity for a girl to get involved, but it's really an opportunity for them to gain lifelong skills.
Dr. Joelle Gates from the Black Diamond Council of Girl Scouts. It's Girl Scout Cookie Time, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by Bridge Valley Community Technical College. Visit bridgevalley.edu, Bridge Valley Community Technical College. Your career starts here. Text Joelle says, love, love, love. They put 3 loves in there. Wow. Love, 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 do-si-dos. Even better, put them in the microwave for about 20 seconds. Yum. Wow.
Yum.
Do you find that a lot when you talk about Girl Scout cookies that people do? I mean, because I know with the Thin Mints, a lot of people freeze them.
Freeze them. Yeah.
What are some other things that you've heard about people doing?
So we have a cookie, Adventureful. It came out a couple years ago. It's a brownie-inspired cookie, and people microwave that. We in the office, we sometimes have fun stuff where we'll do cooking contests and create different creations with the cookies. So it's really endless what you can do with a Girl Scout cookie.
I mean, and I would think too, again, that goes along the lines, if you in your group, you may have a future restaurateur, future chef there,
absolutely.
You know, and come up with different creations. All right. If somebody's listening right now and they want to purchase Girl Scout cookies, but they don't really, you know, they don't have kids, they don't have grandkids, they don't have neighbors, you know, that have kids or whatever. So they're just listening right, and they're saying, I want some Girl Scout cookies. How can they do that if they don't have a Girl Scout that approaches them?
So starting tomorrow, we will have a live link to our e-commerce platform on the Girl Scouts of Black Diamond Council Facebook page. Make sure that you check that out so you can have cookies shipped directly to your door.
All right. It sounds good. We're going to talk to Delegate Hollis Lewis in the next segment here. So I'm going to put him on the spot before we talk politics. This is Joelle Gates from the Girl Scouts,
Hi,
by the way. All right. Hollis, are you a Girl Scout cookie kind of guy?
You know, yeah, I am. All
right. What's your favorite? Do you have
I like the mint, and I like the Samoas. Okay. So yeah, those are my 2 favorites.
All right. Well. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to offer you one of these.
No, not for breakfast. I'm good
not
right
for breakfast?
now.
Okay.
Not for breakfast right now.
This is the new one, Hollis. This is the Explore Mores.
Yeah.
Okay. Rocky Road ice cream inspired cookies filled with the flavor. Didn't even get through the definition, and you're already deciding. Rocky Road ice cream inspired cookies filled with the flavors of chocolate, marshmallow, and toasted almond cream.
That sounds real good. And with the Thin Mints, you got to put them in the freezer.
Oh yes, we just said that. Yep.
We were just talking about that, about things that people do differently, because somebody texted and said with the do-si-dos, put them in a microwave.
Oh, that might be good.
I mean, I'm not a huge sweets eater, to be honest with you, but I take it another level when it's something that's heated and sweet. My wife for Christmas made this apple crisp thing.
Delicious.
And you put that in the microwave. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. And plus it's apples. They're good for you.
There you go.
All right, give us the information, because the Girl Scout cookie season is here. Where can people get their cookies? What's the best way to do it?
Contact your local Girl Scout, find a local troop, or visit the Girl Scouts of Black Diamond Council Facebook page. Starting in late February, early March, we're going to be having Girl Scout cookie booths across all of our communities, so keep an eye out.
All right. Joelle Gates, Black Diamond Council of Girl Scouts, thank you very much, and thank you for letting us be your guinny pigs here.
Absolutely,
on that,
appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
I might take one of those Rocky Roads. I want a sleeve. I'll take it for later. Okay.
Well, you can't have the whole sleeve, because I've already promised my wife that she gets one of the sleeves. We had a text here that said this would be a great event during maybe regatta or West Virginia Birthday, a West Virginia version of Kids Baking Championship, kid bakers using Girl Scout cookies.
Hey, let's do it.
There you go. I'm going to have Brian Hughes, who is the regatta chairman, on the show coming up on Friday, so maybe I'll bring that up to Brian. Maybe we can make that happen.
Love it. Let's do it.
Joel Gates, Black Diamond Council of the Girl Scouts. Appreciate you being here. Thanks a lot. 922.
So
the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com. We'll take a break. Come back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses are small businesses with big impact, including Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness.
Bigley Piggly Wiggly on Spring Street has served 3 generations of shoppers since 1955 as the largest locally owned independent grocery store in the area. The Joseph family owners grew up here, so you know they're invested in the community. They provide the biggest variety of choice meats, the freshest produce, in-house deli bakery, great wine selection, and more of your favorite brands. Every purchase gives you gasoline points so you can save at our pumps. Order online or pick up at BigleyPigglyWiggly.com. Not just any Piggly Wiggly, Bigley Piggly Wiggly.
Disaster strikes sometimes, but it doesn't have to be the end of the world. Rainbow Restoration of Kanawha and Putnam counties can take the worry and stress out of putting your home back together when disaster does strike. Whether it's fire or water damage, mold removal, or even full-service reconstruction, the trained professionals at Rainbow Restoration can help make it home again. It's not the end of the world with Rainbow Restoration. Call 304-201-0101.
Hi, I'm Matt Bainbridge. I'm a principal with CEC and the survey practice lead in West Virginia. My journey with CEC started as a staff consultant in 2014. From surveys to well pad design, CEC has nurtured my growth. In 2015, they empowered me to build a remote sensing group, providing the resources to get the job done. The best part is with CEC's support, my career and retirement plans are secure. At CEC, we engineer progress in the great state of West Virginia.
Find out what CEC can do for you. Visit cecinc.com.
Welcome back to the show, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Generations Ford of Hurricane. Drive home in a newer quality pre-owned Ford. No payments to qualified buyers for 90 days. Generations Ford, just off the Hurricane exit of I-64, or online, generationsford.com. One destination for every generation. Generations Ford. See dealer for details. Bigley Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. Welcome to the show, Delegate from the 57th Hollis Lewis. How you doing, my friend?
I am doing well. How are you doing today?
You didn't know that you're going to get to come in here and be a guinea pig today, right?
Yeah, I mean, those rocky roads look amazing.
Yes, but you didn't break over. You didn't.
I didn't. You know, but I think when it's Girl Scout season, I'm gonna give me a box or two.
Okay, it's time. Yeah. It's time. That's what Joelle was here to talk about. So you said you're a Thin Mints kind of.
I'm a Thin Mints, and I like the Samoas. And I started to venture out a little bit, but the Thin Mints are those classic. Those are the ones I like the best.
Did you have a good holiday season?
I had a great.
Speaking
holiday
of sweets,
season.
did you have a good holiday season?
Yeah. It's about the kids, so they had a good Christmas and all that. So it was really good. I needed that R&R.
Mm-hmm. Well, everybody needs it, especially with what's coming up next week.
Yes, sir.
The circus is back in town.
It's back in town.
And I say that in the best possible way, but other people have said that before. Before we get into talking about the upcoming session, I want to ask you, of course, House seats are up every 2 years. Are you running for re-election?
Yes, I am. So I will be starting campaigning shortly after session ends. I filed pre-candidacy. I'll make it formal here in a couple weeks, and we'll get back to work. You'll see me at your door knocking. Yeah.
So why should people give you another chance in the House, Hollis?
I think what we've been able to accomplish thus far, even though we are smaller numbers, we have stopped a lot of bad bills, and I think I represent the people and holistically, those people who are working hard, everyday working people, those people who have families, those people who want to have a better life, and are focused on what we call kitchen table issues, affordability, utility rates, lower rents, being able to buy a home. Those are the foundational issues that most West Virginians, most Americans are focused on, and that's what I represent.
It's kind of interesting. This is going to lead me into a couple of questions down from now, but Speaker Hanshaw had gathered some Republican delegates a couple of weeks ago before Christmas and stated that the primary focus was going to be on jobs, the economy, and that was the House speaking, which that's what you're a part of. Of course, you're speaking to the Republicans, not so much on social issues. Your take on that?
I mean, obviously, it's funny that they are focused on that right at the, our kitchen table tour. We did the whole state, and that's what we were focused on. And that's what we've been focused on for the last several years, particularly in the House of Delegates, is focused on, again, those foundational issues that most West Virginians care about, whether it's job readiness, workforce development, economic issues, affordability overall. So again, the devil's in the details. So we look forward to working with Republicans if they are truly focused on issues that are important to West Virginians.
That word affordability is thrown out there. That's the key word, the late 25, early 26, and across America, because there are issues out there. And you can point blame. You can say it's this person, that person, this party, that party, whatever. Bottom line is that when the groceries are so much more expensive than what they are, and yes, gas prices have gone down, and we all can appreciate that. However, when you go to your grocery store and everything is more expensive than what it was this time last year, Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative, Hollis, that causes people a lot of pause.
100%. And we can't price people out of the market in totality, right? Because when we talk about affordability, it's not just your groceries while those are rising. It's your utility rates. It's your ability to go to send your kid to college. It's your ability to afford rent or buy a house. We have to get back to a point where we hold not only government accountable, but private industry accountable. And we cannot price people out the market, or at the very least raise prices without raising wages. Those things don't go together. So we have to find creative solutions so that way people can just afford to live and have a chance for upward mobility.
What can the legislative body do about that, though? As a legislator, what can you do about that?
Well, I think we can, again, we can focus, like we've previously said, we could focus on job development. We could focus on, bringing industries, making it so where industries feel comfortable coming here, give, adequate tax breaks while, advocating that those industries hire locally, that those industries are going to be good actors. We can focus on things like PEIA, where, a large portion of West Virginia is under PEIA, whether you're working for the state or you have a family member who's working for the state and you're under their insurance. So we have to figure out a way to fund that because it's steadily rising. I think there's a 5% raise coming, and then potentially in a year or two, it's going to be another 14 to 15% raise. So we have to find creative solutions. One thing we've talked about, is, legalizing adult use cannabis. We've seen other states like Ohio have $1 billion in taxable revenue. So that could be a pathway to, remedy some of those issues. In addition, other issues that are more basic. We have to figure out infrastructure so our residents have clean water. We have, adequate internet service so those individuals who wish to come to West Virginia, who move to West Virginia and work remotely, will feel comfortable doing so. So I believe those are a lot of the things that we can do at that level.
I want to go back to cannabis for a moment. This is something that's been debated. Of course, West Virginia a couple of years ago legalized medical marijuana. That's still kind of a mess. Yeah. It's still not, where it's still not where it should be. That's my opinion. But is there enough support for legalizing cannabis in West Virginia for recreational use for adults, in your opinion?
We again, it's one of the things we would like to see on the ballot. We've introduced several pieces and iterations of legislation, whether it be locally, you can, at a county level, individuals in that county can vote on it, right? We've seen where medical marijuana, there's $34 million just sitting around.
Sitting around.
Yeah, that could be used for something. Again, it's a drop in the bucket when it comes to an overall state budget, but it can be used for something. So it can generate that much revenue. And the thing about it is from what did he say? The backyard brawl, the competitive spirit that we hope to implement. We're losing in that because we have individuals, particularly on our border states, who are jumping across Ohio and getting what they need over there. So why not just keep them home? So I think those are things that we could do, and hopefully we can at least get it on the ballot to have the people's voices heard.
I'm going to throw this out there about the ballot issue when it comes to cannabis, because I have a good friend of mine who I tend to be, this is just me, Hollis, I tend to be a little bit more libertarian in my views on that. I don't do it myself, but I don't think that you can, if you want to do it, knock yourself out. So that's just where I am on that. But I was talking to a good friend of mine who is very, very anti-cannabis. And he said to me at one point during a conversation, he said, you can't always go putting things on the ballot because let's go back 150 years ago, whatever the case may be. If we would have allowed people to if we would have put things on the ballot for the public to vote on, they at that particular point may have voted for things that we didn't want in America and we were trying to rid ourselves of.
Yeah.
And so to that you would say what? I mean, I hope we've evolved as a country since then, but go ahead.
I mean, some things are more, fundamental and I think common sense. Some issues that we just need to rid ourselves of at the highest level possible. And again, I want to say this before I go deep, is that, marijuana in itself, adult use cannabis, it's not going to be the answer to all problems, right? It's just
but a lot of people think it is. I mean, that's what I hear a lot from a lot of the proponents of this. They say, if we legalize it, we are going to solve everything.
Yeah, we're not.
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that. But it is a prong. It is something that could help. And myself, I'm not a consumer. It's not something I'm into, but to each his own. But I think as far as on the ballot, I think, because it's such a polarizing issue and our sort of plan and methodology in that is just saying, hey, we want to give it a chance. So maybe let the people speak for that particular issue. And I think it's something that the people in those particular jurisdictions, municipalities and counties, they can have their voice if it's not going to be done on a state level, which I think it should just be done on a state level.
Well, I think so too, because I think, in my opinion, I think if you start doing by counties, I think you create all kinds of issues.
And you're right. It will create different issues, but we're just trying to throw out options to at least give it a chance.
As a Democrat, and there's not a whole lot of you there, you know that. That's simple numbers here. There's not a whole lot of you there. How difficult is it for your voices to be heard? I mean, one thing I will say about the small number of Democrats, and you and others are your fellow Democrats are going to disagree on certain things, but by and large, you folks seem to be pretty much on the same page on most things. How difficult is it, though, when you have a wish list, as you do and others do, to try to even have a chance of getting it through when the numbers are so small?
Yeah, but we walk in, the legislative session realizing that, right? So we realize that a lot of the things and the bills that we draft may not see even committee. So a lot of what we do is defense. And I think what you've seen and what other people have seen around the state, our voices, we try to make them as loud as possible, whether that's on the House floor or just disseminating information through social media. So because we kind of know what we're walking into, I think we've done a good job of making our voices heard, even though we may not be able to always get bills through. We've done a good job of stopping a couple bad bills, particularly last session.
Give me an example of one or two of those in your opinion. That was a bad bill.
Certificate of need, for example, they wanted to dissolve that. That's one of the things that we were able to quell. It's important, particularly in West Virginia, that we felt that you have a process as far as opening up hospitals and different things of that nature. And, so that's one of the things that we were, and again, and to that point, just to give you a little bit of explanation, I think what happens is, people say, let's open up the market, right? And it makes sense that we just want to have a market and maybe we can have the best hospitals and emergency room, different things come in. But the problem is that they're not going to Mingo County. They're not going to McDowell County. They're just going to come to Charleston and flood the market. So, the methodology in which they would use for, dissolving certificate of need, we felt was inadequate. And we felt it was important to still have that because they're not going to come in and try to solve the problems that rural West Virginia needs. So we've been able to stop different things like that and a whole host of other things. So again, I think sometimes the biggest fight is fighting other Democrats. That seems to be, those who, don't necessarily, understand the process, those who are in, leadership sort of on the back office, holding on to an old guard that don't understand that, hey, we need to move forward. This is about, as far as on the Democrat side, we have to get candidates and we have to help candidates get elected, or at least give them a chance, put them in the best opportunity. So again, being a Democrat is kind of tough on a lot of levels here.
Well, but I mean, this time, 20 years ago, we were saying being a Republican in West Virginia is difficult on many levels.
Yeah. But I think they've done an excellent job of organizing themselves from the top to the bottom. Mm-hmm. They don't always agree. Now, it's not, paint fairy tales. They don't always agree with each other, but I think they've been able to get on one accord and at the very least support each other through the process.
I had a high-ranking Democrat told me one time that the problem with the Democratic Party, and you can agree or disagree, Hollis, is that we let other people define what we are. In other words, this person was saying, as a Democrat, we let Republicans come in and say, well, this is what a Democrat is, and that people have a tendency to listen as opposed to us telling our own story. That was said to me by a high-ranking Democrat in West Virginia. To that, you would say?
I don't know if I would necessarily agree with that. I think what's happened is that, Republicans, they know how to politic. Democrats know how to govern. And we know the politic part is what's going to get you in office. And I think what happens is that too many times on our side, we're too fragmented. And we do not have to agree. But I think if we can get on one accord and agree on these principles as far as public facing together, again, we could fight backdoor. We can go out and non-public facing in the back rooms and scrap it out, and argue and do all those things. But as far as publicly facing, I think it's important for us to all be together and to have one movement. And again, for everybody to support our candidates, whether you're in office or trying to get in office. And I think, as we get younger and we get new ideas, those things are happening.
In talking not long ago with State Democratic Party Chair Mike Pushkin on the show, he talked about in these races around West Virginia wanting to have a Democrat on the ballot as much as possible. And sometimes with the numbers, it's not possible. It's not possible. But that's what they wanted to do. If somebody were thinking about running for office in another area, but they say, well, I'm a Democrat. I just don't know what kind of a chance I have. And maybe not the district that you are in necessarily, but maybe in a more
don't run
rural,
in my district.
No. But I mean, in a more rural area where it tends to be more conservative. What would you say to them? I mean, how would you encourage them?
I would say, let's take the emotion out of it and let's look at the numbers. So I would say, like, if you're in a House race, you're going to have a district, you have a locale. And I would say, what are your precincts? So if you got 20 precincts, let's look at the numbers. Let's look at the numbers as far as what it took to win those particular precincts. What are your biggest precincts? What is the political makeup in that precinct? Look at the numbers, because sometimes we just get lost in, okay, it's red. We just see a red mark and then we just kind of turn our head. But sometimes if we dig into the numbers, we can figure out a pathology to win, because you may not win all those districts. You may not win most of them, but if you can possibly get some headway into the bigger districts, bigger precincts, you may be able to have a chance. In addition to do things like, get with, political strategists, get with campaign managers, start talking to people, go to community events, see where you're at that way, take the emotion out of it a little bit, get more data driven, and then go from there.
And it's also interesting to point out, and if you read TJ Meadows' commentary today, and he's going to talk about it on Metro News Midday, I'll also talk about it on his own show, he and Wilson show, coming up at 10 o'clock. The state Republican Party is going to meet this weekend in Charleston, and I don't know whether they're going to bring it up or not, but, they made the decision within the last year or so to close their primary.
Yeah.
And so if you're a registered independent, it used to be you could go in on the primary and say, I am a registered independent, but I want a Republican ballot or I want a Democrat ballot.
Yeah.
Well, with the Republican, you can't do that anymore. Mm-hmm. They closed there. Democrats are still open, though.
Yeah.
So independents could ask. I'm not advocating people should do that, or if they can if they want, but I'm just saying that option is still there because your primary is still open.
And that's very true. And I think it's telling that you would close it to that degree. I think it's one of those things that Democrats, we're open for all, and we want to hear your voice, whether you're a Democrat or an independent. And it's telling that Republicans would close it. I think it's the little bit of fear of kind of fear of the independents. And again, independents are a large section of the voting population and getting larger, and we need them to come out. And far as the Democrat side, we're telling you, we want your participation. We welcome your voice.
Before we let you go, a couple of days ago, the governor stated he wants to cut the state income tax. And over the last 24 hours, Delegate, 2 Republicans and 1 Democrat have come on these very airways here and said that they seem to be a little bit skeptical, or at least had questions about the math. Where are you on that?
Same thing. I got questions about the math. I was told a long time ago, when it comes to, and again, this is maybe a little bit of a false comparison, but when it comes to personal finance, you can't cut yourself to death. You can't cut and not be able to live and have a life. So again, those taxes are going to pay for, state funded projects and employment and different things of that nature. So I am a little bit skeptical about how far we can cut without bringing any additional revenue in, because we talk about we talk about this, we talk about that, but what we're not talking about is what we're going to do to make up those gaps and fill those gaps. So I want to hear more from the governor, and I'm sure I will in the next few weeks.
Delegate Hollis Lewis, the session begins next Wednesday. You're always welcome on the show, whether that's the session or not. I appreciate you being here. Thanks a lot, my friend.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you.
Have a good session.
You too.
Try to get through it.
Thanks.
We'll take a break. It's 18 minutes away from 10. We're back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Are you a physical therapy assistant and looking for an opportunity in orthopedics, wellness, and athletic care? If so, Generations Physical Therapy is offering flexible work hours and an upbeat atmosphere. With 7 convenient locations, Generations may have a job designed for you. Visit generationspt.com.
I'm John Carruthers, the owner of Best Virginia Heating and Cooling. I'm born and raised right here in West Virginia. I've got 3 daughters, so I absolutely care who comes into my home. Every technician we send to your home has been drug tested and background checked. I guarantee the best client experience or your money back. We have the best team and the best processes built around a 5-star experience. Call Best Virginia today at 681-655-1214.
Fall is here, and the only thing that's falling faster than the leaves in West Virginia are the prices on Jeep Grand Cherokees at Walker Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Hurricane. Right now, Gene and Ryan have over 50 Grand Cherokees in stock, and each one of them have been marked down. Walker has the largest selection of Grand Cherokees in the Kanawha Valley, and all of them need new homes. Check this out. Grand Cherokee Limited with 3rd row seating, now Walker priced with up to $11,000 off MSRP. And you know you're going to get the best deal possible at Walker because Gene and Ryan built their business the old-fashioned way by making friends. There are no gimmicks or games at Walker, just honest, fair deals. So don't wait. Take advantage of these great savings before Old Man Winter settles into the Mountain State for good. Take that short 20-minute drive from Charleston or Huntington to Walker Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, just off the Hurricane exit of I-64. Walker Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, making friends one deal at a time.
You only have so many vacation days each year, but there's an entire planet of destinations to choose from. Narrow your search with Rudy Max's World with the Careys. From historical landmarks to major tourist centers to the wonders of nature, this show provides timely advice on the ever-changing landscape of international travel. Explore the Earth with Rudy Max's World, Saturdays at 1 on the Voice of Charleston, 580 WCHS.
Welcome back to the show. 16 minutes away from 10 on a Wednesday. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. It's wintertime now, but we're already thinking about baseball at Go-Mart Ballpark. Now would be a great time for you to get your season tickets, merchandise, more, dirtybirdsbaseball.com. I was having a conversation with some of the folks from the Dirty Birds earlier. Another great year for Light the Night. And they're tallying up the numbers right now. But man, they just, I mean, if you'll pardon the really bad baseball pun, they knocked it out of the park this year with the Selengo Law Light the Night. On one day show, I think it's Tuesday, maybe, I don't know. It's the days in the 2 shows I do kind of run together sometime. One day early next week, we're going to have folks from the Dirty Birds on to kind of give us the totals on the number of Ewans that walk through the turnstiles over at Go-Mart Ballpark. Certainly looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to baseball. I really, really am. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline, 304-345-5858. Tony Vitaylor text, 304-935-5008. And you guys are busy on the text line today. I'm going to get to them here momentarily. Coming up later today, Metro News Midday, 13 News, and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Mayer and me, powered by Selengo Law. Wednesday means we're going to introduce you to another wonderful West Virginia. This time we have 2 that worked on a project together here in the Charleston area. Don't want to give too much away, but they'll join us in studio during the 1 o'clock hour. Jeff Jenkins will bring you the news. TJ Meadows will stop by with his aforementioned commentary about the Republicans' closed primary. He's going to weigh in on that. And if you haven't had a chance to hear the commentary, if you didn't hear it on the radio or read it, it's on the website. I would say go ahead and check that out, because as Delegate Lewis and I were talking about, there's been 2 schools of thoughts on that. You know, a lot of the Republicans, when they closed the primary, said basically, if you're a Republican, register as a Republican. And it's a way to, in some of their words, to weed out some of what they call rhinos. Others have said that this is going to be really problematic, if not at this election, if they don't reverse it by the next election, 2028. So anyway, TJ will weigh in on that as he did on his commentary. Go read it at WVMetroNews.com. Delegate J.B. Akers is going to stop by the show today to talk about data centers. Fred Persinger going to stop by to talk high school basketball. The flu, it's bad. We're going to discuss that. Going to tell you about a new pro-energy group that is doing some things in and around the Mountain State, and, of course, Open Line, West Virginia. Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law, with 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barrett and me coming up at noon today. Now, programming note, I will not be on either show tomorrow, the local show or the network, so just so you know, and I'll get more on that coming up a little bit later on. I will be back, though, on Friday's show. That's the plan. Unless something happens tomorrow that I'm not foreseeing. I will be back on Friday's show. On that show, the return of Angie Gillenwaters. We've given her a couple of weeks off from the Kanawha Charleston Humane Association with our Adopt Me Please Pet of the Week. Brian Hughes, meteorologist, is going to join us. You may not see him on TV here in Charleston anymore, but he's still heavily involved in things in town, including the regatta. And Brian's going to join us to talk about that. Plus, Greg Thomas will be on the show coming up on the local show on Friday as well. Now, as for me, I am going to be away tomorrow. As I've talked about on the show and on social media, it's biopsy time. You know how they say it's Toyota-thon? Now it's Girl Scout cookie season. Well, it's also biopsy time for you boy tomorrow. I should be back on Friday. And I've told you the story. Went for a checkup. They were very alarmed by the PSA numbers that I had. And so I'm going to go try to get it squared away. I'm still trying to monetize this whole thing. I actually posted a video over on Dave Allen Radio over the weekend offering to sell ad space on my prostate and then to post it online. I actually had takers. I mean, I said it as a joke that when they do the biopsy and they give you the picture and whatever, I said it as a joke on a video Saturday night. I said, you two can sponsor Dave Allen's prostate. And I had individuals, honest to God, I'm not making this up, offering me money if I would put their logo or the name photoshopped somehow on the picture of it to post it online. I said it as a joke, but if people are willing to pay me for it, you know my motto, ABS, man, always be selling. So we'll see. But on a serious note, I will let everyone know on social media tomorrow and on the show on Friday how it goes. Should be back on Friday, and then we'll get a course of action from there. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Taylor, text 304-935-500. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Husson's Pizza. This month, get a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and a pizza bowl, $22.99. Find your nearest Husson's for delivery, pickup, or dine in at Husson'sPizza.com. On to the mall. Text says, all the malls in Lexington are packed every day. Huntington Mall also very busy. Appreciate the text. The big difference, though, in that is, and I said this on the shows yesterday, the model of a downtown mall like the Charleston Town Center is no more. The Huntington Mall, the mall in Lexington, other malls I've visited, I'm sure you have as well, in other states and other areas, you really can't compare it to what the town center is, because the town center is located downtown. It's landlocked, so to speak. You can't build around it. One of the things that makes the Huntington Mall such a huge success, especially over the last couple of years, is all the things around it. Not just the mall itself, the Tanyard stations and the Kohl's and, Ollie's and all the other places that are surrounding it. So I think we need to keep that in mind. We need to compare apples to apples, oranges to oranges. But I do appreciate the text. Text says, Dave, this question's probably not related to anything discussed today. I'm not from West Virginia, so it's confusing to me. Why do coal miners leave the coal soot on their faces when they leave the mines and go to places such as hospitals or sporting events? Do wipes not work? Are there not cleaning facilities? Seems unsanitary and lazy. I appreciate your coal country perspective. Well, I am from coal country. Both my parents made their living in the coal industry. One is a secretary and one is a purchasing agent. There are bathhouses, but sometimes maybe they want to wear what they do with pride. I don't know. I can't answer that question. Text says, Dave, no cannabis proponent says cannabis will fix everything. The only people who say that are opponents of legalization who say it to diminish its potential contributions. whoever is running to get Shelley Capito or Carol Miller needs to really pound the point that both of them stand in the way of cannabis rescheduling and legalization, which prohibits the state from accessing revenue created by medical cannabis. There's a lot of money remaining stagnant because of outdated ideologies, says a texter. Text says, Democrats governed for 83 years in West Virginia. We are still trying to clean up that mess, so please just step aside, D's, says a texter. 9:52, it's 8 away from 10. Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-500. We'll take a break, come back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses bring first-class businesses to your community.
My name's Chris Miller. I'm president of Dutch Miller Automotive. Jarrett Construction completely renovated and helped redesign Dutch Miller Kia in South Charleston. The fit and the finish and the quality of the project is exceptional. He has an attention to detail and an eye for that kind of stuff. You always want to give your best to your customer. It's just as important to him as it is to you. If you're ever looking to build anything, I'd call Jarrett Construction because you know exactly you're going to get something excellent every single time.
Call on Jarrett Construction. Poca Valley has proudly served the citizens of Roane, Kanawha, Putnam, and surrounding counties for over a century. As your trusted community bank, we're committed to building relationships and meeting your financial needs. And with the Poca Valley Visa card, you can enjoy competitive interest rates, no annual fees, and a rewarding points program, all from a bank you know and trust. Visit your local Poca Valley office to apply or call us. Poca Valley, where relationships matter. Member FDIC.
What if the market drops after you retire? What if healthcare costs continue to rise? What if you outlive your savings? If these questions keep you up at night, you're not alone. And you don't have to figure it out alone. I'm John Burdett with 4th Avenue Financial, and I specialize in retirement income planning. Let's turn your what-ifs into a plan you can count on. Schedule your free consultation today at 4thavenuefinancial.com. 4th Avenue Financial, retirement done right.
Securities offered through Jenny McCole Financial Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Jenny McCole Advisors Incorporated.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed only $59.99. Wednesday, January 14th at the Holiday Inn and Suites in South Charleston. Weight loss hypnosis starts at 5:30 p.m. Registration 5 p.m. Stop smoking starts at 8 p.m. Registration 7:30 p.m. The latest in news, talk, and sports on 580 WCHS is brought to you by Jarrett Construction. Visit jarrett-construction.com for more information.
Right on time, right on budget. Call on Jarrett Construction.
The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you by Pinnacle Consultants. Their services involve developing comprehensive management plans to outline strategies for controlling and minimizing asbestos exposure. Perfect for commercial property owners and managers. Visit pinnaclecorp.net because what you don't know can hurt you. Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. Text says, if you wake up every day and your first thought is about legalizing recreational weed, you may have a bit of a problem. Seek help, please. Legalizing pot will set a precedent. How long until lawsuits are filed demanding legalizations of meth, crack, heroin, etc.? Never say that it will never happen either. Well, I don't think that there are those people that wake up every day and wake and bake, as they say. There are those people wake up every day and grab a Twinkie. I'm just saying that the people that are proponents of legalizing cannabis don't necessarily fall into that category that wake and bake. They just see the economic aspects of it or so on and so forth. So appreciate the text. Text says, unless state Democrats distance themselves and denounce the direction of leaders of the national Democrats the way it's going right now with socialism spreading across the country, then you're never going to regain control here again. I agree. And I will say this as somebody who's worked on a number of campaigns, and if I do say so myself, it's got an actually pretty good track record prior to radio, prior to this show anyway, of working on campaigns. I can tell you that if you want to get elected as a Democrat in West Virginia, a good start, and they're never going to do this because they won't get any help from the national party, the good way to start would be, if you're running for, I don't fill in office here, A good way to start would be to denounce the National Democratic Party and what stands for the National Democratic Party. I don't care who the chair is. I'm telling you who the faces of the parties are, and you know who they are. Unless you stand up and say, I am not a California Democrat, I do not go along with AOC, Chuck Schumer, whatever, you're not getting elected. You're not getting elected as a Democrat in West Virginia, with certain exceptions. I mean, certain little pockets of West Virginia. Text says, in regards to the mall, how about solving another issue, too, by combining them? Make an area inside the mall specifically for a new animal shelter. It's spacious, convenient, easily accessible. I would be all for that, 100%, as an animal lover, as a big supporter of the Kanawha Charleston Humane Association. However, that's not going to bring money in. And that's what it's all about. It's all about bringing money in. But it's a great idea if it goes along with something else. Text says, I thought just this past year that the governor, when he took office, was talking big about how our financial situation in the state was not so good and how he needed to fix it. Now he's talking about lowering the state income tax. We have no business lowering the tax until we have adequately funded the Department of Human Services to make sure that children of foster care are well taken care of. Text says, a lot of people think beer, wine, and moonshine are okay. Now, you'll never hear me say weed is good for you, but sure as heck isn't any worse than alcohol, and its prohibition is discriminatory. One report estimated approximately 1,243 average annual alcohol-related deaths in West Virginia. The alcohol-involved death rate was 14.6 per 100,000 people in 2021, slightly higher than the national average, while heroin accounted for only 3% of all drug overdose deaths in 2021. And don't say fentanyl, because if you regulate weed better, the number of those overdose deaths will come down as well. Well, I'll say this. You talk to any police officer and ask them which they would rather deal with, somebody who's been smoking weed or somebody who's been drinking. They're going to say smoking weed every time. Speaking of which, what happened to those Girl Scout cookies? Text says, and the Huntington Mall is in Barboursville, not downtown Huntington. It's a suburban mall. Yeah, 100%. Hey, to the person, Mr. Step Aside, you've had 10 years. Get stepping yourselves, says the texter. Text says, Dave, tomorrow fans of the king of rock and roll will honor, remember, and celebrate what would have been Elvis's 91st birthday. Memphis' annual Elvis Presley Birthday Proclamation Ceremony commemorating Elvis Presley Day, taking place at 9:30 a.m. Eastern on the front lawn of Graceland. Fans unable to attend can watch the ceremony online for free via the Graceland website. So, appreciate the information. Big Elvis fan here. TJ Meadows, are you taking part in Elvis Day tomorrow, my friend?
Elvis isn't dead. He just went home.
All right. All right. So
sure, why not?
Girl Scout cookies fan? Not a fan?
Yeah, I like Girl Scout cookies.
Favorite ones?
The sugar cookie, the trefoils.
Okay, first time we've heard
Simple,
that.
Simple, plain,
all
easy.
Right. Talk line coming up 10:06. What you got?
11:06. Uriah Cummings from the West Virginia Department of Education joins us.
All right. Speaking of Girl Scout cookies,
sorry, got choked up there. He's the financial guy for the state.
Okay,
he sent me some numbers.
Uh-huh.
We are up against it. Our counties are up against it. It shocked me. I fell on the floor last night when I see what some of our counties are facing from a financial situation. He'll detail it.
And you're going to go over this. When does Senator Capito on? That's who Senator Capito's on?
Yeah, she's on at 11:33.
And that's on today's show. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by Live Healthy West Virginia. I have got to go. I will see you later today on Metro News Midday. Till then, have fun and love somebody.
WCHS-AM, W243DRFM Charleston, and W283AQ Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here, too.